picking a programming language. Sometimes it feels like choosing a superpower.
Yeah.
And with all the buzz around Rust and Go these days,
Right.
it's kind of hard to figure out which one's the right fit.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going deep on this debate today.
Okay.
We're pulling some insights from this article called
Okay.
Rust versus Go. Which programming language is best for your project?
Right.
And we're going to try to give you the knowledge to choose
Absolutely.
between these two with some confidence.
Yeah, that's a great analogy, picking the right superpower.
Yeah.
I mean, both Rust and Go, they came out around the same time
Okay.
in the 2010s,
Okay.
but they offer totally different strengths.
So let's break this down. When we
Yeah.
talk about their superpowers,
Yeah.
what are we even talking about here?
So Rust, think of Rust as like the meticulous engineer.
Oh,
Like this is from Mozilla.
Okay.
And it's all about memory safety.
Right.
Performance.
Right.
It's great for like system programming.
So this is like,
Like if you're building an operating system,
wow.
like the foundation, or maybe like a really high performance game engine or something like that.
Okay, so projects where
Yeah.
stability and control are like super important,
Totally.
Rust is the way to go.
I would say so, yeah.
And that control, does that extend to like how Rust handles
Oh, yeah.
concurrency, having multiple tasks
Oh, absolutely.
running at the same time?
Yeah. And you know how you get those like data races that crash your program?
Uh-huh.
Rust basically eliminates that
Wow.
with this thing called the ownership model.
Okay, now that ownership model I've heard, that's a little bit of a,
It's a head scratcher.
yeah.
It can be a little bit tricky at first.
Yeah.
Rust is strict and it takes some getting used to.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, every piece of data in your program has an owner at any time.
Okay.
Now, it might feel limiting at first,
Yeah.
but that strictness, it actually makes the code super robust,
Okay.
reliable.
Mm.
It's like a built-in safety net, right? To prevent you from making those careless mistakes
Right.
that'll crash your program or create security vulnerabilities.
Got it.
So there's a learning curve.
Yeah,
But the payoff is worth it,
for sure. For sure.
especially for those projects where reliability is super important.
Okay, so what about Go then?
Yeah.
What's Go's superpower?
Go is all about speed and scalability.
Okay.
It came out of Google.
Okay.
Think of it as the master of efficiency.
Okay.
Building back-end systems, cloud-native applications, that can handle tons of traffic.
Okay.
Unlike Rust,
Yeah.
Go has a built-in garbage collector.
Oh, yeah. Now, that garbage collector, I've heard that's a real
Yeah, it makes it easier.
advantage when it comes to, like, memory management.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But does it have, like, a performance impact at all?
So that's a good question.
Yeah.
It automatically cleans up unused memory,
Yeah.
which makes our lives easier as developers.
Yeah.
But sometimes that can cause a little delay.
Okay.
But Go is really fast in other areas.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got rapid startup times.
Okay.
So if you're building web servers, microservices, things that need to get up and running quickly, Go is great for that.
Okay, so it's not just raw speed.
No, it's not.
It's like overall efficiency
Exactly.
with development and deployment as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So this makes me wonder, when we talk about just pure performance,
Yeah.
how do these two languages stack up?
That's where it gets really interesting. So Rust,
Yeah.
it's often compared to C++.
Okay.
When it comes to performance.
Yeah.
Because it has this thing called zero cost abstractions.
Zero cost abstractions. I like the sound of that.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah, break that down for me.
Yeah, so basically you get the performance of a low level language
Okay.
without the complexity.
Got it.
So it's like you can write code
Yeah.
that's easy to read, easy to maintain,
Mm-hmm.
and it runs as efficiently as if you hand optimized every line
Wow.
in assembly language.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That sounds like a win-win.
It is.
So where
Yeah.
does that really shine?
Yeah.
Where's a real world example?
Yeah. So imagine you're building a high frequency trading system.
Okay.
Every microsecond counts, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like even the slightest delay can cost you money.
Yeah.
So Rust's ability to squeeze every ounce of performance out of your hardware
Right.
makes it perfect for something like that.
Wow.
Or game development, right?
Yeah.
Smooth, lag-free performance.
Yeah.
Rust's performance and its control over the system resources is key there.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So Rust takes the crown if we're talking
Oh
about
yeah, if performance is king,
like raw performance.
absolutely.
Where does that leave Go?
So Go might not be as fast as Rust,
Okay.
but remember, its strength is rapid development, scalability.
Okay.
It can handle a ton of concurrent tasks very efficiently.
Okay.
So imagine building a web server that needs to handle
Yeah.
Thousands of requests simultaneously.
Yeah.
Go's lightweight Go routines make that easy.
Go routines. Now that's another
buzzword
that I've heard.
Yeah.
Tell me what makes those so special.
Yeah. So think of a Go routine as like a tiny little worker.
Okay.
That handles a specific task, and they don't get in each other's way.
Okay.
So this makes Past a really good choice for chat systems,
right?
Streaming platforms, anything where you have a constant stream of requests that you need to handle quickly.
So it sounds like both languages bring performance to the table.
They do, yeah.
But in different ways.
Absolutely.
But let's be honest.
Yeah.
Learning a new language can be a little daunting.
It can be, yeah.
So when we talk about learning curve.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about these two?
Yeah, that's where things get interesting. Rust has a reputation, for being a bit demanding.
I've heard people say it has a steep learning curve.
It does.
I think it has to do with that ownership model.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
The ownership model makes it harder to learn at first, especially for people coming from languages with more relaxed memory management.
So it's a trade-off then.
It is.
We get robustness and safety.
Right.
But it takes a little more effort up front.
Yeah, a little more effort. But let me tell you, once you get it, the feeling of confidence you get writing Rust code is unmatched. It's like having a compiler.
Okay.
That's your bodyguard.
Wow.
That prevents you from making memory errors.
I'm starting to see the appeal.
Yeah.
So what about Go then?
Yeah.
What's its learning curve like?
Go is famous for its simplicity.
Okay.
It's got like a batteries included philosophy. It comes with all these tools and libraries that make common tasks really straightforward.
So you can pick it up pretty quickly.
You can, even if you're new to programming.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Go is easy to use.
Yeah, it is.
It's got a gentle learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good, especially for teams that have different experience levels.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That's one of its best features is how accessible it is.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So sounds like Go would be great for startups.
Yeah.
Or projects where you need to develop quickly.
Absolutely. You can prototype ideas quickly. You can iterate, get your product to market faster.
So we have these two languages. We've got Rust, the meticulous engineer, and Go, the approachable sprinter.
I like that.
But how do we decide which one to actually use?
It's not always easy.
Right.
Sometimes you might have a project that could benefit from either.
Yeah, for sure.
So you have to consider the nuances.
Okay.
And really weigh the trade-offs.
Like what kind of trade-offs are we talking?
Well, for example, if you're building something that's performance critical.
Oh, okay.
Where like even a tiny bit of inefficiency could have a big impact.
Yeah.
You might want to go with Rust.
Okay.
But if you need to get something out quickly.
Yeah.
And you have a team that maybe doesn't have as much experience, Go simplicity and ease of use might be more valuable.
It's about choosing the right tool for the job.
It is, yeah. It's like you wouldn't use a scalpel to chop down a tree.
That's a great analogy.
Okay. That's where the art of software engineering comes in. You have to know the strengths and limitations of your tools and make good decisions based on your project.
So it's not just about what the language can do.
Right.
It's about the project timeline.
Yeah.
The team.
Exactly.
How easy is it to maintain the code?
Absolutely. All those things.
This is giving me a much clearer picture now.
Good.
And it makes me think about another important thing.
What's that?
The ecosystem.
Oh, yeah. The ecosystem is huge.
So can you tell me a little bit about what that is?
Yeah. So every language has a community around it. Okay. Developers, libraries, tools, frameworks.
Okay.
And that can have a big impact on your project.
So it's not just about the language itself.
It's not just about the language, no.
It's about the support and the resources.
Absolutely. A good ecosystem can make your life so much easier as a developer.
That makes sense.
You've got ready-made solutions. You've got access to expertise.
Right.
You've got a community that can help you when you get stuck.
Okay, so you mentioned libraries and frameworks.
Yeah.
What about those? How do those compare between Rust and Go?
So Rust has a growing ecosystem.
Okay.
Some really powerful libraries, especially for web dev and asynchronous programming.
Okay.
But it's still young.
Compared to Go.
Compared to Go, yeah.
So it might be harder to find niche libraries in Rust?
It's possible, yeah. Go has a mature ecosystem.
Okay.
Tons of libraries and frameworks for all sorts of things. It's really popular.
Yeah.
Companies like Google use it.
Right.
So it's got a really active community.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Lots of resources.
So if I'm looking for a lot of different options, it sounds like Go might be the way to go.
Yeah, probably, but you should always check. Do your research.
Right.
Make sure the libraries and frameworks that are available will work for your project.
So it's not a simple answer.
It's not, no.
We need to look at the technical details.
Yep.
We need to look at the ecosystem.
Exactly.
And the community.
All of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get down to it.
Okay.
Can we walk through some real-world examples?
Let's do it.
Where each of these languages shines. So let's paint a picture here.
Okay.
You mentioned Rust.
Yeah.
Really excels when we're talking performance-critical applications.
Yeah.
What does that look like in the real world?
So a great example is Server.
Okay.
The browser engine that Mozilla built.
Mm-hmm.
They used Rust for that.
Okay.
And they needed something super fast.
Right.
And safe.
Yeah.
To handle all the complexities of web pages.
Right.
Rust let them get huge performance gains.
Wow.
So that really proves its power in demanding environments.
Right.
Where security is super important.
Okay, what about embedded systems?
Oh yeah, embedded systems.
Is that a good fit for Rust?
Perfect fit for Rust.
Okay.
So think about the software that runs your car's engine or a medical device. Like in those situations, even a small error could be really bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Rust is great for that because it's so focused on memory safety.
Okay, so when the stakes are high, Rust is a good choice.
When reliability is key, Rust is a really strong contender.
Okay, so what about Go?
Yeah.
Where does it shine?
Go is amazing for building scalable web services and cloud-native applications.
Okay.
So think about Docker and Kubernetes.
Okay.
Those are both written in Go.
Wow.
And those are tools that power the internet.
Yeah.
So Go's ability to handle huge scale, complex systems, it's perfect for that.
So it's also great for like command line tools?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
APIs,
yeah,
microservices.
All that stuff. And it can be deployed to the cloud super easily.
So we've got Rust, the meticulous engineer.
I like it.
Building these like foundational systems.
Yeah. The foundation.
And we've got Go, the efficient architect.
Right.
That builds the tools and the services that we use.
Absolutely. It's clear that there's no one right answer here.
No.
It depends.
It depends on what you need.
It's like choosing the right building material.
Okay.
You wouldn't build a skyscraper out of straw.
Right.
You wouldn't build a treehouse out of steel.
Right. So we need to think about what we're building.
Exactly.
And choose the right materials.
Yeah. It's all about understanding the properties of each material.
Right.
And matching them to what you're trying to build.
This has been a really great deep dive.
It has.
I feel like I've learned a lot.
Good.
So as we wrap up here,
yeah,
what are the key takeaways?
Okay, so first, Rust and Go are both really powerful. Mm-hmm. They both have their strengths and weaknesses.
Right.
There's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
It depends on your situation.
Okay.
Second, think about your project.
Yeah.
What do you need?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need top performance and safety? Or do you need speed of development and scalability?
Okay.
And finally, remember the ecosystem. Think about the libraries and tools that are available.
Right.
What's the community like?
Yeah, that's a good point.
These things can really impact your success.
Yeah, so it's not just the language.
It's not just the language, no.
It's everything around it.
The whole picture.
Okay, I'm glad we talked about all that.
Me too.
So as our listeners go out and start their next project,
yeah,
what should they keep in mind as they're choosing between these two?
Well, they should think about the long-term maintainability of their code.
Okay.
Can they easily understand and modify it later?
Right.
Will they be able to find other developers who know the language?
That's a really good point.
Yeah, these are important things that people sometimes forget.
Yeah, for sure. It's not just about writing the code.
It's not just about writing code, no.
It's about building something that's going to last.
Exactly. Something that can evolve and change over time.
Yeah. So as you start your next coding adventure, remember, choosing the language is just the first step.
It is.
The real journey is building something great.
Right. Building something well-designed, maintainable, and useful.
Well said. Well, on that note, I think we could wrap up our deep dive here.
I think so, too.
So until next time, happy coding, everyone.
Happy coding.